What is shaking, internet? This is Salts bringing you some more how to tank Dragon Soul normal 25 man for dummies. This is going to be part 6, aka the 6th boss in Dragon Soul normal, aka Warmaster Blackhorn. And so let's just go ahead and get right into it. As exactly like in LFR, there is no what is it called? There's no trash. No trash for this. You just fight it, and there's 2 phases. 2 phases are going to be exactly the same, except for a couple of minor things. Tanking is not going to be pretty much different at all, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it while we watch this. It's actually one of the faster fights, but in normal, it's about as difficult as LFR, I guess. So the 2 tanks are going to stand on the side. One tank is going to get the hat guy, and one tank is going to get the other guy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and explain this. The hat guy, the Dreadblade, he actually has a cleave. He has like a conal shadow damage in front of him. So he's going to do conal damage in front of him. So that's why you want to face him away from the raid, aka off the boat, which is fine. And then the Slayer is going to do the other one. The Slayer, I don't believe, has a conal cleave. From everything I've read, he does not have a conal cleave. He just has normal attacks. But he does do a damage over time that stacks. So what you want to do is exactly like in LFR I explained, but we're going to go ahead and cover it quick here again. We have the Dreadblade is going to be held up by one guy, and then the non-hat guy is going to be the other guy. So then when the next set of elites, they just came down again. See, I was tanking the Slayer, the non-hat guy, the first time, and now I'm tanking the Dreadblade, aka the hat guy. So you have to switch out every time new elites spawn. This isn't, it's not too terribly bad, but so like right now, I'm tanking the Dreadblade, but I still have the dots from the Slayer. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. You want to have the tank switch off so that you don't have too many DOTs. Other than that, the tanking's not that too bad. The only real different mechanic on this 10-man or 20 on this normal versus LFR is they have AKA first the all the little things do a lot more damage to the ship, so the ship can actually die very quickly if you're not paying attention. So you want to take those barrages. If you saw me there, every once in a while I run over to take a barrage, so it comes down and we hit it. I try and take it. The sapper is another one. Right here, we're gonna see a sapper show up, and he's in the center. And so sappers show up. They're little ads that spawn, and then they show up, and then they disappear. They cloak or vanish or whatever. And then they start running towards the cabin. If they get to the cabin, they do 20% of the ship's health and damage. So you have to grab them. What we do is we have a whole bunch of Death Knights, and the Death Knights death grip them. They can be death gripped. They can be slowed. They can be, I think they can be stunned. I don't really know. They're like normal ads. They're like normal bosses, normal trash, I guess I would say. Except if they get to the ship, you lose 20% health. So you really do not want to happen. And obviously the onslaughts are still happening, but as you can see, we are not actually taking it. You don't want the tanks to get into the onslaughts, because then that conal damage and the cleave will hurt the raid a lot. So you always want to face the ads away from the raid. The only time you would ever go for an onslaught is if on the off chance that your ad's dead, so there are no elite ads, whatever, and then you and then they're up, so you can run over there without ads facing towards the raid. So, second phase, as you can see here, the Warmaster drops, and it's pretty much exactly the same. The range is going to go off and kill the big dragon up in the sky, and you're going to tank this guy down here. I do want to cover one thing that actually you can almost ignore in LFR, but it is the shockwave. So he does that big damaging roar there that you saw, and then here, shockwave. So somebody says shockwave on me or other things if they have a Spanish-speaking client or whatever. And what you want to do is he faces that direction, and you run away from him. It's very simple. Just even as a tank, you don't want him to be in there. Like, he stands still for, watch this, in 2 seconds it's going to happen. He does shockwave, boom, he looks away, and just be not in front of him. Not in front of him means that if you are in front of him, you get stunned and you get a lot of damage. So I will say, as far as damage wise on this fight, there isn't a lot of damage until the end. The more health that this Warmaster Blackhorn is missing, the more damage he does. So like, the more he gets hurt, the more damage he's going to do. Therefore, you really you want to save your cooldowns for later if you can. Definitely later in the fight, the damage gets a lot more significant, especially with that crush armor debuff and stuff like that. But as you can see, we've done this. We're just killing him, going through the motions. But that's really it. There's just going to be a lot more damage, and you want to pay attention to the end. You don't want to stand in stuff, and you want to make sure that the ads are faced off of the ship. And there you go. That's it. It's a really simple fight. Really, actually, one of the quicker fights in the entire instance. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully I've covered everything. Yeah, it seems like it went by quick, but, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this, and as always, please leave comments below if you have anything to add or have any critiques of my playstyle or anything on the boss specifically. And also, as always, you keep it salty, Internet.